The name, that's a very famous name. Now, is that just something you grabbed, or are you
Well, as my last name being Holliday, I did some research and found out that I am related to Doc Holliday, back to our Scottish roots. So that was kind of interesting. I had built the Wild West town first, and then found out that I was related to Doc Holliday after I had bought some old Wild West magazines from the 1950s and 60s. And while reading through these magazines, I discovered that the name Holliday was spelled the same, Holliday. And so I did, as I called up a genealogist and kind of inquired into this. And after about a month or so, he got back to me and told me that I was related to Doc Holliday. So that was kind of interesting to find out that
you are part of a chain. Now, where is the Wild West town located?
It's in Newcastle, in the village of Newcastle, just north of the Four Corners, about a half a mile.
Okay.
On North Street.
You know, is this like a family entertainment center, or what can we some of the?
Yeah, it is. It's on an 8-acre spread, and there's about 13 or 14 buildings, and the interior of the buildings are all basically done up with authentic Wild West artifacts. And it is open to the public, and you start at one end of the town and basically go from A to B and kind of venture into all the different buildings and see what's happening.
Now, is this, how do you make money on it? Is there admission charge to get in?
Yeah, we charge $5 admission. Takes about an hour and, probably about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes to go
any
through
pony
the town.
rides? Any pony rides?
well, we actually have some ponies and goats and potbelly pigs. So we have some animals for the younger crowd to interact with.
Now, how long is what was the process in getting this started? What, did you buy yourself an old ghost town and go from there, or?
Well, I actually bought a farm, which was an 1848 farm, and as the way the house was situated with some of the other buildings that were on the property, it was already like a small town setting with a street. So I tore down some barns at the lake that Ontario Hydro was going to basically just have demolished, and I managed to get quite a sum of old wood. And after bringing the wood home and it's sitting there for a year or two, one day I was looking at my garage and I decided to put a false front on it, and that's kind of what got the whole project started.
Okay. Now, what period of time is this to get this going for you from?
Well, this has been about a 15-year project.
Okay.
So it's, it kind of just started out as kind of dressing up my own property, kind of making the most of the buildings I had and making them look a little more, let's say, I guess, less run down. And, and as for me, the first thing I could think of, was a Western concept.
Now, is this a full-time venture for you? And there must be peak seasons. Obviously, winter must be your slow time, but
yeah. Well, for me, the whole thing started out as a hobby, and then I was approached by Barb Chupa one day. Barb said that she heard that I had kind of an interesting property, and that they were looking for properties to promote Durham to the film industry. And she asked if she could take some pictures for the Ontario Film Board, which is in Toronto, where they have different photographs. And so at that point I told Barb, well, give me about a month so I can dress the place up a little bit. And basically from that point, Barb came out and took some photographs, and that's kind of what really got us rolling, was we got the property kind of dressed up to take some photographs. And while we were doing that, we had quite a bit of interest from the, from the public, asking what was going on. Right after we done that, we managed to get a commercial shoot for the Visine. Visine is they did a Western theme for their product, and they found out about my Wild West town and came out and seen my saloon. And so they came out.
Just to get the saloon now, do you have some actors involved? Can we expect a bar fight at the saloon, or we can have a shootout at the OK Corral?
Well, we have had people come and do some reenactments. We've had covered wagons with the teams of horses pulling them through town while 3 or 4 outlaws come riding in, from the other end of town. We have had a couple of of the mock gunfights with different actors. As the Life Channel came and shot a series on me, or shot a segment, I guess we could call it, and that turned out really well. They were there for 2 days doing that shoot. Inside Entertainment has been out and did a shoot on us, as well as Rogers and Shaw Cable.
Yeah, that's how I was saying earlier that I originally I knew the face was familiar because I had actually seen you on Shaw. Now, what size of crew do you have in there for operating it? Like,
well,
is there...
right now there's just 3 of us that kind of look after the town. There's my sister-in-law, as well as we have another lady that helps us on the weekends. So right now we're just kind of it's just open for the public. It's a pretty relaxed setting. We got lots of parking. As the public comes, when we start them at point A, and kind of take them on a bit of a tour, and then let them, kind of go around themselves as well. So it's a pretty relaxed setting.
Okay, if I wanted to bring my family down there, how do I get in touch with you? Do I have to book, or do I just show up?
Well, on the weekend. Just show up on a Saturday or Sunday after 10 o'clock, and is there somebody there to look after you? Okay,
can you give me a phone number and address?
I sure can. The phone number is 905-987-5696, and we are located at 816 North Street, Newcastle. Now, that is directly north of the four corners of the village of Newcastle, which is Mill Street, and as you stay on Mill Street and it winds out of town, it then turns into North Street. So as you just stay on that road, you'll proceed basically a half a mile north of town, and there we are. You can't miss us.
Now, is it called the Wild West Town?
It's called Dockville.
Dockville.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. As I had a sign donated to me from a movie that was shot in Brooklyn, and as the way the letters were on it, I was going to take them all off, and a friend says, well, heck, as you got enough letters there, you can basically make Dockville. So we just moved the letters around a bit, and that's how we came to have the town of Dockville. Other than that, who knows what I would have called it.
Now, is there a cemetery where you bury all the old cowboys?
Yes, we have Boot Hill, we have a general store, a dry goods store, we have the Longhorn Saloon.
Can I get a T-shirt there?
Right at the moment, I'm having T-shirts and other artifacts kind of being made. Yeah.
Just to wrap it up, what's the future of Dockville?
Well, the future of Dockville would be to get more film business, and is to just have more of the public coming out, and is to do some banquets and stuff like corporate conventions. It's set up like a park, so it's a perfect setting for large groups to come and host, host their own parties and stuff. Gives everybody that really kind of a Western feel.